Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we are going to make a cheesy hamburger and potato casserole. And this is going to start our series on things that we can make with ground beef. We're doing another one of those. So let's get started. I've already been cooking my ground beef and onion, and I've got that set aside. But we're going to focus on the gravy or sauce that has to go over it. Okay, you're gonna need 1 can of mushroom soup, 3/4 of a cup of milk. Now you can put your onion in at this point, but I went ahead and just cooked it with the ground beef so that it'll be cooked thoroughly. So here's our gravy, and we're going to put in some pepper. I do have measurements on that in the recipe, but I'm kind of just doing it to taste. Seasoned salt and pepper to taste. You can use regular salt if you prefer. Okay, so you need to slice 45 potatoes, thinly sliced, to put them in a greased 9x13 pan. I went by what they said on the recipe, but now I wish I wouldn't have did 4 to 5. To me, it seems like it's too much. We'll see how it goes, but it just seems like it's a little bit too much. And also forgot to tell you, preheat your oven to 350. And we'll pour this over my potatoes, the soup mixture. Kind of wish that I would have done more than just 1 can, but we'll see how everything goes. Okay, and then you're going to put your ground beef over the top of this. Ground beef and onion. Woo. Now, we're going to cook it a little over an hour, hour 15 at 350 degrees. You're going to take it out when your potatoes are tender. And from there, you can add cheese and green onion to the top. Making sure you get every little bit of that meat out because it's only about a pound. Okay. So I'll bake for about 1 hour and 15 minutes or until the potatoes are fork tender. I did use the yellow Yukon type, so they probably will get done faster. So I'll keep you updated on that. Like I said, once everything's done, take it out, sprinkle with some cheddar and some green onion. I'll come back and I'll do that little process with you. Okay, y'all, so now I'm going to put some cheddar on the top. And we're going to stick it back in the oven. Okay, and I've got some green onion here. We're going to sprinkle that on top for some color. Okay, we're going to stick this back in the oven. We're going to stick this back in the oven to melt, and then I will be right back with the finished product. Okay, y'all, so this is the finished product. I will say that I didn't use foil initially to cover the casserole when it went into the oven. Against my better judgment, I should have done that. It didn't burn the hamburger meat that's in the casserole, but it did kind of overcook it a little bit, which is fine. You know, it's not really gonna matter. but I don't like how it ended up. So whenever you go to put it in the oven, make sure that you cover it. And you'll also need that to get the potatoes done a lot better, a lot faster, a lot more efficiently. So just remember that, to bake it covered, and then you can bake it uncovered the last 5 to 10 minutes or so. Okay, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to make cheesy Southwestern pasta skillet. So it's a 1 skillet meal, except for where you have to cook your pasta separately. But then you're going to just dump everything in together. I've already cooked my 1 pound of ground beef. And now I'm going to add my taco seasoning to that. And you can use Southwest or Southwestern type seasoning if you prefer. But a lot of us cannot find stuff like that in our neck of the woods. So you can also use taco seasoning. And instead of minced garlic, we're just going to put in some garlic powder. We're going to use, instead of minced onion, we're going to use some onion powder, and we're going to sprinkle in just a little bit of cilantro, probably about a half a teaspoon or so. And I'm just going to mix all this together. And we're going to put in some drained corn. Now you can use frozen. You need about 3/4 of a cup. So I'm just going to use canned. It's just easier, cheaper. It's just easier for me. It may not be easier for you, and that's totally fine. All right, we're going to go ahead and get our pasta since I figure out what I did with it. We'll put that in. Now, this is 3 cups of shells, and these are not the smallest ones, and they're not the biggest. So we'll just stir all this in here together. And this is really, really simple. So you should have no issues. And it did require a special ingredient that I typically don't have on hand, but I've used it before, so I knew that my grocery store had it. So, and I'll explain that in just 1 second. Let's just go ahead and finish up some of this. Where are my black beans? Okay. Can of drained and rinsed black beans. And we need our salsa. Do about 3/4 of a cup. I may add more, just depends. We'll see. Okay. So that's our beans and our salsa. And then our special ingredient is this. So Velveeta makes a cheese sauce. I don't know if anyone out there is aware, but just stick this in here. I'm gonna put this on low. Kind of warm up my ingredients a little bit. If you can't find this, get a box of Velveeta, and on the box it tells you how to make basically a cheese sauce, and it's basically just milk and Velveeta basically. So shouldn't be a big issue. This is just a little bit more convenient. It's not exactly the cheapest thing, but I was like, eh. And the only thing with this is the recipe calls for 6 ounces. And this box has 3 4-ounce pouches. So I'm going to have to use like 1.5. Another thing that you could possibly use if you didn't want to go to all that trouble, you could get some queso dip out of the off the potato chip aisle at your local grocery store, and that would probably suffice as well. And I've used also the nacho cheese sauce that's in the cans. As long as it's not condensed, you can be able to use that too. Okay, now let me make sure we got everything together. Okay, I was supposed to wait to add my black beans, but it doesn't really matter. I think it still come together fine. So basically what I'm doing now is I'm just kind of warming this up as I combine everything. And I'm just trying to make sure everything's good mixed. And then I'm going to get some cheddar and I'm going to add that. Okay. Let me get my cheddar. Alright, so you'll just add in 1/4 of a cup that you're going to stir in. I'm probably adding a little bit more than that, probably about 1/2. Or maybe even 1/3. So we'll mix that in, and like I said, I've got this on low, that way it can continue to heat up. I'm gonna put in just a little bit more of this Velveeta, just a tad bit more. It's really hard to measure when it's in a pouch. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and put in 1/2 cup on top. And I'm just going to let this sit on the stove and warm with the lid on and let this melt. And that will be it. So let's give it a few minutes to finish warming up, and I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, so this is the finished product. It smells great. It looks good. I'm starving, so I'm ready to eat. I did end up having to put it under the broiler to try to get the cheese to melt more evenly and faster. So you may have to do that, but everything worked out good, and I can't wait to dig in. Some sour cream and maybe some kind of green onions on top would probably really go good with this. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to just do a simple beef stroganoff. I did find a recipe that I can link at the bottom for y'all in the description box, but I'm going to change it up a little bit and add to. And the only reason I'm doing that is because I couldn't find my original one that I always use. Okay, now back to the stovetop. 1 pound of ground beef. You need some onion and some bell pepper. You can use any color bell pepper. Typically you would use green, of course, but I had an orange one that was going to go bad, so I wanted to go ahead and get that and use that. All right, so this is on medium heat, so it's already cooked and everything. I cooked it together. It's on medium heat. I'm going to go ahead and add my 2 cream of soups. It's going to be cream of mushroom and cream of celery. And this is like just a really quick, fast supper that takes literally less than half an hour to put together. So, because my egg noodles, I've already cooked them, and we're going to mix them in here too. And those things do not take long to cook at all. Alright, so after you drain the peppers and the onions and the meat, throw it back into the skillet, and then go ahead and mix your 2 cans of soup in. Another thing that I do sometimes, probably not today, but sometimes I do, I can add drain canned mushrooms, and you can also add frozen green peas. So that's other options if you'd like to get more vegetables in. Okay, so we're just going to let this simmer a little bit and warm up. You're going to need a little bit of garlic powder. You can put fresh garlic in, but you need to mince it. So you need to make it as small as possible. Okay. Alright, let me give this just a few minutes. I'll come right back and we'll finish this up. Okay, Okay, y'all, so I turned the heat up a little bit. So it's starting to really heat up. Now I'm going to add in my egg noodles. And this is about 8 ounces cooked. And I got the little skinny ones because I couldn't find the wide ones. I'd rather have the wide ones, but my Walmart, they don't carry every single thing that I could possibly like. So I just have to deal with it how I deal with it. Alright, so I turn the heat off and I'm trying to combine all this. Alright, and you need to add in about half a cup of sour cream. You can use Greek yogurt if you prefer, or you can leave it out if you wanted to. Alright, and then all I'm going to do is stir this up, combine it really well, salt and pepper, and I'm done. Really, really quick supper, and it's very filling. Give me just a second, and I'll show you the finished product. Just trying to make sure that's all. Come on. It's just that easy, y'all. Alright, a little bit of salt. Some pepper. I'm going to stir that up. One final stir. And it's ready to serve. I'm going to put some green beans on the side. And we are ready to eat. Alright, there y'all. That's the finished product. Perfectly cooked and ready for a weeknight meal. Alright, y'all. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time.